It's beginning to appear to me that British and German intelligence networks position Frankists of Hebraic faith at the front of organizations to give off the impression that it is a Hebraic Frankist conspiracy, when in the shadows, these conspiracies are actually those of British and German intelligence. And regarding the Bavarian Illuminati networks of the late 1700s, these were a combined network of British, Prussian, and Bavarian intelligence networks of their respective secret services. Indeed, this was an Anglo-German intelligence operation, and they positioned the Hebraic Adam Weishaupt at the forefront of this organization to give it the flavor that the British and German intelligence networks desire to be portrayed to the world, so that everybody believes all of these networks are under the control of Hebraic and Frankist elements, when they are actually the operations of British and German intelligence services. Indeed, this is reflected in the fact that the conspiracy theory world largely centers much of its thinking around the Rothschild family, who, as I've stated, are merely semi autonomous and are under a degree of mind manipulation by their British, German, French, and their British, German, and French overseers. And because of their prominence, that is effectively disinformation put out there. Although it's true these are terrible people, they are not at the top of the chain. Indeed, British intelligence and German intelligence seem to be often undivided in their aims and constitute a controlling faction of the overall intelligence community, especially regarding the Frankists, who they seem to control completely. Therefore, my statement that the Asiatic Brethren control British intelligence doesn't seem to be quite as solid as I believed it to be. But that's the thing about talking about this kind of stuff. A lot of it's trial and error. And many factions of British intelligence are controlled by the Asiatic Brethren, but the Asiatic Brethren are themselves controlled by a Gentile controlling faction. And there are many networks within British intelligence that are controlled by the Deutsche Verteidigungsdienst, especially the General Operations Group 2 within MI6, which deals with various aspects of the narcotic trade as well as human intelligence gathering and analysis. Indeed, there is an alignment between the controlling Gentile faction of British intelligence and the Deutsche Verteidigungsdienst, which links back itself to the British and German Rosicrucian networks of the 1500s, which were British and German intelligence operations of the time, which were active in attempting to conquer the Vatican, which was the eventual outcome that they wished for. Indeed, this dated back to the Knights Templar lodges, who always wanted to dominate the power cabal within the Roman Catholic Church. Indeed, these networks linked up with Frankist networks that weren't actually known as Frankist at the time, but were known as groups such as Los Alumbrados, which is in direct translation is the illuminated, thereby the Illuminati. And these networks created the Jesuit order, which was a network of Los Alumbrados Marranos and Conversos, and the residue of the Templar orders in Spain, and various Sufi networks. Indeed, these networks are reflected in much of the modern activity of the intelligence community. There is a massive combined network consisting of Sabbatean and Frankist Donmen networks, Templar networks, and Bektashi Sufi networks, who are all interlinked and involved in various machinations, but the controlling factions do seem to be of British and German heritage. Indeed, German intelligence seems to dominate the French intelligence networks. Indeed, the Deutsche Verteidigungsdienst were heavily involved in the Algerian War, supporting the French against the Algerians and the Algerians against the French. And then when the French split into Gaullist forces and the Organisation Army Secrete, the OAS, they funded both sides in that conflict as well, because the Deutsche Verteidigungsdienst were operating much for profit, but also German hegemony over the French political and corporate constructs, as well as the intelligence side of things. Indeed, the networks of British and German intelligence have played a game of shadows in a false conflict which is coordinated by their Illuminati cult overseers, the Royal Arch Freemasons, Rosicrucians, and Druids, and various German secret societies that oversee these intelligence networks. And there's been a lot of discord fomented between British and German interests by agents of the controlling body. Thereby, the two empires were stoked up against each other for World War I, despite being controlled by the same people. Indeed, many people would focus on the fact that the British Rothschilds and German Rothschilds fomented that conflict, but as I've stated, the Rothschild family are a semi-autonomous entity, and they are themselves beholden to their Anglo-German controllers. Indeed, these British and German networks are heavily involved in the mind controlling of their own agents and have large amounts of microchipped slaves that are used for various purposes, such as being couriers and prostitutes and generally used for gathering human intelligence and operate without realizing what they're doing a lot of the time. Indeed, the mental hospitals seem to be run overall by the Knights of Malta, the Order of Malta, the Knights Hospitaller continuum. Indeed, they are operated technically through MI6, but the controlling body being the Knights of Malta, who are effectively the Vatican banking element, and they are themselves under the control of Anglo-German intelligence and operate much of the washing and transfer of funds from the narcotic trade through Swiss bank accounts, and also deal with the profits from child trafficking and various other illicit networks that are generally presided over by ferrymen of the Deutsche Verteidigungsdienst, though with a large controlling portion being the activities of British intelligence. Indeed, these networks are all linking up in a massive European labyrinth whereby the intelligence networks have basically formed a large criminal syndicate, and this has been developing for the last 500 years, basically, this criminal element, which is an intelligence operation. There's no other way to describe it. It's an intelligence operation, and it serves the officers of the intelligence networks, who are themselves intrinsically aligned with corporate elites, political elites, business elites, and financial elites, all linking together to create a technocracy ruled by a cryptocracy. Indeed, the conclusion that it is not an overarching Frankist conspiracy is an interesting one, because the entire internet is geared towards you believing that the Hebraic agents are at the top of the chain. And this is not the case, because the Frankists and various associated networks tend to be more concerned with eating aborted human fetuses than really carrying out a massive intelligence conspiracy to control everything. Though you cannot knock them for their intelligence capabilities, but they seem to be too out of control for the serious Anglo-German networks to consider as a network that could be prominent in the coming order. Indeed, this is why the conflict in the Middle East is being stoked up, and the idea of this is to destroy the networks of the political Zionists and the leaders of the Ishmaelite world's entities, and this would lead to complete dominion of British and German intelligence. Indeed, the Anglo-German intelligence networks have a plan for the Russian Federation also, whereby they wish to balkanize that nation. Indeed, Russia is playing a very important part in the general saga on the world stage, but Putin is controlled opposition. He is a Frankist and thereby semi-autonomous, and is basically under some sort of influence from the British intelligence services. Indeed, all of these networks engage in serious blackmail, and I believe Putin is being blackmailed because of his fondness for very young males. And this could work out in a way whereby many people believe that Putin is fighting the networks in the Western countries, but he isn't. And eventually, the West wished to balkanize the Russian Federation. But we will see what happens. I haven't quite worked everything out yet. It's all kind of playing out basically according to the blueprint of Albert Pike, but there are many details left out of that blueprint. Indeed, I'm going to leave it there.